Hello everyone, and welcome to this new webinar. My name is Jules Barthelme. Today I will be showing you guys the websites and e-commerce new features for this brand new version that is 19.3. So this is our agenda for today. We'll go through the design and content improvements that we have, the massive improvements that we have done. We go on with the enhanced consumer journey along the e-commerce. We'll be seeing the units of measure improvements that we have made, and then we'll go into the forms. Obviously, at the end of the session, we'll have a question and answer session, just like always. But enough chit-chats, let's dive into Odoo right away, and let's focus on design and content improvements. The first massive improvement that we have made is the vibe coding. So if I switch to my database here, you may see that my landing page is empty. This is on purpose, obviously. If I enter the edit mode, you can see here that I have a new button that is the AI. I'm opening here a agent conversation with the artificial intelligence, and I will be asking it to help me create the page. So let's say, help me create my landing page. I sell bikes, and my company name is Odoo. I need you to get inspired by these two following websites, because those ones are the ones that I really like. Let's say canyon.com and www.coffee-ride.cc. Let me just think up. Coffee Ride. Yeah, it's good. Now, you can use the following pictures, and I will be uploading also attachments. I can go through my document that is in my database. At this point, I only have them here on my desktop, and I can open. Images will be uploaded, and I can launch the query to the AI. So it recognizes the two websites. This is pretty handy because I'm not a big designer, so I'd rather give inspiration for the design that I really like. This was the aim of this new feature, to give the power to anyone to create brand appealing pages. It's quicker, it's easier, and it's open for everyone. Obviously, you can still use the website builder along the way, but yeah, that was the idea. We really want to make this feature big and huge to help you create website very fast. So this will take a bit of time to the AI. That's normal because it seeks for inspiration, obviously, on the two websites, and it's building my page. So while we wait, we have seen here at Odoo, personally into the projects, configuration is something, implementation is something, but then if you have all your blocks on your website, is it appealing? Maybe not. Being a designer is really obviously a job, and we wanted to go beyond the requirements for having designers to create appealing websites. So yeah, you can test it right away. It's already on the 19.3, so you can already download the database to use it. Still a bit editing. We'll be waiting a bit more. Obviously, it will give me a output, and I can still change it with some new prompts. So that's created carousels. Here, a big picture at the beginning, obviously some more features, but let's say that I don't want to make a mistake that I often see on many websites is that maybe the content is too crowded, and I just wanted to make it clear and simpler, so I can say, okay, add more white space between the blocks, let's say. The perfect thing here is that it shows you what it has done, so you can follow, and you can maybe enhance parts of them. And if my query is not clear enough, it will ask me a few questions before going on and making the addition, which means that if you don't know nothing about design, it will guide you through the construction of the page. It's still working a bit. And I could say many things, just like I'd like to have this picture maybe fixed, so it's the website. I would scroll through the image, but I can make any effect that I could have done with the website builder, obviously. And it's still a bit editing here. We'll be waiting a few seconds. Yeah, perfect. And then it has created a bit more space so that it's clear. And then I can see whatever it has changed, and I can go on and go on and go on and go on. Obviously, I can still here edit the block as I could before with my mouse. So yep, that was the website builder. I hope you guys can test it right away and maybe improve your website as well. So next feature here, the enhance and generate picture with the AI. As we know, when we sell product online, such as bikes here, we need to get images, of course. So I have my main image and the extra images. So if I go onto my products, let's say I want to have this one, I can see here I don't have extra media. So if I go to my website, obviously I can see it here. It's great, but I might want to have some more pictures. So if I go back to my products, I can open up the AI conversation once again here and ask, put the picture, or maybe add a cyclist to the picture. It will work a bit, and then I will have the opportunity to either use this image as the main image or the extra media image. It will be ready in a few seconds. So that helps you being very faster, getting your hand on additional pictures without having to organize photo shoots and so on. There it is. Let's say it works for me. I could obviously reiterate and make it fine-tune it and make it better for me, but I like it like this, so I can just click on extra photo. So if I go to my e-commerce, I now have an extra media. Once again, I can scroll through and add some pictures. So yeah, so that was the generation of a picture. If you are interested in the novelty in AI, we just made last week and last week before 2 webinars about this in French and in English, so you can go ahead and watch it. So let's see the next feature. So yeah, that was highly asked in the past, the show relevant product attribute value in filters. What is it? So let me go onto my websites. Let's say I go to my shop and maybe the bikes. I can see here that I have red, black, white, blue, and purple products on my page. If I now click on the roads, let me just refresh my website. Yeah, perfect. It's not going on the road, so let me go back to another one. I can go from there. Oh, sorry. I'll go to my VTT, which is all roads, and you can see that the filters have adapted, because in this page, I only have black, white, and blue bikes in that regard. So it will dynamically change based on what is available on the page. It was not the case before. We have worked lots for this, and this will ease the navigation of your visitor, obviously, to make it clear, more easy to find the relevant products, and hence increase your sales, obviously. Thumbnail selection for attributes on product page. Yes, indeed. So if I enter one product, let's say this one, I can see that I have different colors. And I can show the different products as their variant images, and not anymore only with a color badge or a picture badge, which helps me showing more relevant information to my visitors so that I can get inspired and see right away how this product would look like in red or white. And this could be obviously product specific, whereas before you could have got a picture for your color attribute type, but it would be the same for any product. So this is more product specific, so more relevant. And again, it increases the clarity of the products. Now, the age verification, pop-up. This also was very highly asked. In some use cases, you might want to have a pop-up window here that asks if the visitor has 18 years old for some specific use case. You now have the possibility to do it, so you can drag and drop any snippet here, and you can ask and look for pop-up, for instance, and you have the age one. Now, what has changed compared to the other snippet is that you don't have a cross button, so you cannot avoid it. It's unskippable. So if I save here, I can say no, but I would have a problem with the message. And if I say yes, I enter the website, but I cannot erase this pop-up window. So those were the content and the design improvements. Let's dive into the enhanced customer journey. And let's see the automated cross-sell suggestion. So one of the main features that you have to have on your product, according to me, if you want to increase your sales or optimize it, is to suggest relevant optional products or any other cross-sell product. So if I go to one of the products that I have, let's see the CF SLX8. Where is it? Maybe I can look it from here. SLX. Yeah, this one. I can zoom in a bit. Yep. And if you go onto the sales tab, you can see here that you have the optional product, which is a product that is suggested to you when you add in this bike into your basket. Alternative product would be the ones suggested underneath the product in the product page, and thanks to a settings I will show you, it can be computed. So if I click on update suggested here, it will go through my sales, making comparison, see if some products are purchased rather than others, and so on and so on and so on. And it will compute the alternative products. So if I go onto the website, I can see here that those are the alternative products I can have based on the behavior of previous visitors. Now, obviously, if this is automatically computed. Now, if I changed it and I added, let's say, all road tires, it's not alternative, it would be optional actually. Yeah, like so. If I change it, then Odoo will not pre-compute it because you made the choice that you want for your bikes. But beforehand, I know that in many of my projects, this is very time consuming to set and to set up. Thanks to a brand new setting, you can now just have it computed by Odoo. Now into the configuration, if you won't have this, this would be automatic. If I'm not mistaken, automatic suggested products. I did it manually to show you how it works, but for more geek people, you know that you have a cron, so a robot that goes through your database once in a while and computes it for yourself. So this will be done automatically without having to click on it. Now, the online clickable tags. Yeah, you may work with tags with your products. So if I enter one of mine, maybe I'm not going to this. Let's go on to the websites. Shop, and maybe the all road one. Yeah, let's get this one. Yeah. So in this product, I have this tag, all road. As you may see, I have added it here into the tags. Now, what is great now is that it's now clickable. So if I'm interested in all road, I can click here, and this will guide me to all the product that have this tag sets. Okay, so that will help you getting a better navigation for your clients, making sure that they find what they actually look like, and so yeah, that increases your possibilities. Now, pickup time and delivery dates. Wonderful. Let's say I also have a store for my bikes. I can obviously ship my bike, but I can also offer my client to come up at the store and retrieve their orders. Now, if I go to one of the products, let's see which one I can have. Let's say this one. It's available at the store and at the delivery. So wonderful. Let me add it to the cart. Yes, I will get an helmet as well. Now, you can see that I can go to the checkout, and I can see here that I can have a pickup in store. And as you may see, we're actually the 19th of May, but it says I can retrieve it by the 20th, because there is one day for Odoo to prepare my product, maybe doing a bit of testing of the bikes or anything. And what is wonderful is that if I click here on the store, I may have several stores, but I can also see the opening hours that I can set from my backend. And it's actually closed on Saturday and Sunday. What a bad idea. But anyways, and I can see where it is, obviously. So if you go into your delivery methods, onto the pickup store, for instance, I can have here opening hours, which is great. And I also have on the e-commerce tab, I can say, okay, it will be ready in blah, blah, blah working days, which means that the store needs a bit of time to prepare my order. Which is a great thing for maybe food delivery. I may need, let's say if I have a bakery and I sell cakes online, I may need a day to prepare my cake and to cook it, actually to bake it. So yeah, this will help you avoid misunderstanding with your clients. Now, I showed you this on the pickup, but obviously you can set it also on the delivery, standard delivery. You also have the e-commerce here, and you can turn on the estimated delivery and set up this for your client. Now, product rating requests. This is a big topic. We know that having reviews on your products increase credibility of your products, maybe authority of your websites, and it helps drive more sales. If I sell products that are also sold on other websites, which website is going to be the winner for the sale? Well, maybe the one that has the best reviews and so on. So it's really important. So we have added a new features. If you go into your configuration, that is, you can look it for the rating, and you can say that the request rating can be turned on, which means that you can set the number of days that you want to wait after in order to send your order rating requests, so that your client will receive this, have a button to click on and go back to the product and leave a review. Now, you can set as many days as you want. Maybe you want to wait a bit so that it's delivered first and that your client has actually used the product. And the other focus that we had during this this version was to give you the most ability to change the email templates that we've created. So you can have here, you can choose the email template that you will be sending. Obviously, I advise to keep some parts of it. So if you enter it, you can see how it was made. And obviously those parts are really important to get your products into your emails. And you can click on the preview, and I can set any orders that I've created, and this will be the email that would be sent to my clients. Obviously, I have not done my homework very well. I should have added a logo into my database, but people will be able to click on the button and go back to my product to leave a review. Obviously, this automatically. So those were the customer journey improvements. Let's go and see the units of measure. We have made so far two major improvements. We can now restrict units of measure from one website to another. And we'll be able to have discounts specifically on packaging. So first off, let's see that I have actually two websites, one for my B2C customers and one for my B2B customers. Now, for the B2B, I don't want to sell products by units. It's a waste of time. It's too much work. I sell them by 10, let's say. So let's go by one of my products. Let's say, let's keep Kenyan Road Lights, this one. Actually, as you can see, the optional product has been also computed from the other features I showed you, because it has been purchased many times with an helmet. So now it's computed. Okay, so enough chit chat, let's go back. So I sell it by units by default. That's normal. But then if I go to my sales, I now have this packaging field. It has been around for, I think, ever since the 19 version came out anyways. So you can set, okay, I will have it by 10 units. Now, on my website here, if I enter this product by here, you will see that I can sell it by 10 units and not by units. If I change websites and I go to the same products, I only can purchase it by units. You don't see it because it's by units, and by default we don't show it, although I could have. So what happened here is that if I go to my website's configuration, I have a parameter that is restrict packagings. So I want to prevent the selling of this packaging of 10 units for this specific website, and you will understand that if I change the website, I have the same thing for the units. So that's pretty handy if you manage B2B and B2C websites. Obviously, to induce more larger volumes of sales if you do B2B, which gives you less work. So yeah. The second improvement was the set of the units of measure on price list rules. So obviously, if I sell packagings, different packagings, I may want to decrease the price. Why? Because less works less work for handling those kinds of orders means less, bigger margins, so I can reduce a bit the margins to beat the market and have slightly lower prices. That's one of the reasons. Also, maybe I want to make discounts so that people will more choose the bigger packaging that induce less work. It's the snake that bites its tail. You can work it as you want. So how does it work? Now, if you go on the price lists, let's say this one will be for my B2B websites. I have added a new rule that is set for all the products that I have on my database because this is what I chose. And then the discount of 10%, but I have assigned a specific units here. So it will only apply to this. So if I go to my website, you may see into the B2B one, that if I enter it, there is obviously a discount because of it. Now I can maybe take off the limit restriction. Yes, for my B2B, just to have a look on how it works. On page shop, and if I take it by units, I may have 10 of them, but I don't have any discount. Now, if I choose the units, then I have discounts. If you sell scans, maybe not by unit, but by pallets, it will be easier for you to sell them. There are so many use cases that can work with this. So those were the units of measure changes, and now we can go on to the forms. So the forms, let me go to my first website, to the Contact Us page. We have made 2 improvements. So we can now support property fields, okay, not only studio new fields or development new fields. And we have new inner snippets into the form for more clarity. So as you may know, if you create a form, you could have the action, like the submission message, to be to trigger an email sending to your email address. That is what is done by default. But then you can also link any form. Maybe I will. You can link forms. If I click on the send message, you can see here that the action that I've chosen was to create a customer. Okay, so I can link my form to other models, other applications that I have onto my database, which I don't have that much, so I cannot choose so many. But my choice was to create a customer. Now, if I create a customer, I have limited amount of fields that is available for me. So let me just go to my contacts, and let's say for my work I really need to have a birth dates field. Okay, I do not have studio because I'm on a regular plan and I don't need it for other reason. Now what I can do, let's say on Abigail, I can add with this edit properties and I can add a property. So I added in this case a date type property that I named birth dates. Okay, well, let's delete this one. Perfect. Let's save. So that means that if I go back to my website, to the Contact Us one, and I can enter the edit mode. If I click on birth dates, you can see that the type of field is now retrievable from this list. So I have it from the property that I've just created. This was not the case before, so you have more flexibility to ask some more questions for structured data that you will be able to see into the records. Okay. Now the second improvement that has been done is that here I can maybe here delete what I've done, but if I add a new field, it will ask me which kind of field I want. I can have a field for any question, but I can have, as I said here, inner snippets. So let's say I have a separator. Maybe I can make it thicker so it's easier for you to see. It's 8 pixel. You can see it here, it's slight and it's in gray, but let me switch to black and have a normal pixel. Yeah. And then I will add a new field here. Let's say up a new field. Sorry, I will have maybe a text field that I will put here. This one I can erase. This will help me to get more context of what I'm expecting my visitor to answer. I can have obviously this is an HTML field, so it means that I can have any layouts that I want. Maybe I can have inner blocks and so on. But in this case, I will have like a title 1, heading 1, leave us a comment. There it is. And then I can go on and have more information. And let's make it simpler here. So yeah, that will help you to acquire more personal forms and also to guide your visitor in a better way. So those were the improvements. We have seen them all today. So I was glad to show you around. I hope you will be able to test them. Yeah, before we go, you can flash this QR code if you want to discover the pricing of Odoo. If you're not a user already, you have time to do it. So I will be waiting for a few seconds. And obviously, the recording of the session will be on YouTube. And then need for advice, this is where I step in the project. If you need more advice, you can get in touch with an advisor, which is a person who will guide you and see what are your needs and maybe introduce us for a project leading if you need some help to implement Odoo. Thank you to anyone. We'll be having a question and answer session in a few seconds. Welcome back to this webinar. Let's see the question that you've had in the chats. The first question was actually from LinkedIn, so you can follow us on LinkedIn as well. Will there be an AI declaration label which will be required in the EU very soon? Is already for some. I'm not aware today of what the law says, depending on the country, obviously. We do not have a feature per se, but you can also always add this label into your product description. I know that you will have to declare if you've used AI into one of other features, so you can leave it into the description or maybe as a block into your pages, depending on the regulation, of course. But that's good feedback. Maybe we can think of a snippet for this use case, but you can already have description, so I would say yes. Hello everyone. Another question from CodeSphere Tech ERP. Can we seriously call a simple yes button age verification? I'm not sure to have grasped the whole question, but as I said, you have the snippet, so maybe you can precise it into the chatter, and I will be going back to it in a few seconds. Next question from Carl C. 5547. How do you handle subscription-based products? I am looking for a way to increase my customer LTV by offering a subscribe and save option. Thanks. Yeah, obviously. Let's go into Odoo. I can save here. You can go into the apps and look for a subscription. And you can install it. And then after you have this, basically what you will do is to set up a recurring price into your product. Let's say in my case, what could I have as a subscription? Maybe I can have a bike as subscription. So Canyon as sub. You can name it way better than I do, obviously, and I can click subscription here. As I done this, I can have here a new column that is the plan. Do I want it to have a subscription every month, every 6 months, every year? This is the recurring invoicing policy that will be done through this, and you can set a price list, which is the prices that you would like, and the unit price monthly. Let's say it's this is a beautiful bike, so it's going to be 110, let's say. And then as soon as you have this, people will be able to rent it, and then you have several things that you can as soon as it checks out and it adds, the visitor adds his bank card, let's say, bank card, sorry, then you will have a tokenization every month in that case to retrieve the money for the subscription. So this works pretty well. I've done it many times. So yeah, you can do it with this way. There is one thing I forgot to show you, which is a pity, but I will do for people that bear it with us. There is one feature that I didn't show you, that was the next loyalty plan step, meaning that if maybe I can zoom in a bit. Here I've set a free shipping for over 200 baskets, which means that if I go back to my shop, maybe I can add add to carts, add to carts, and then I have here the free shipping that is completed. This is really helpful. You can set up those things into the loyalty discount and loyalty. That will help you showing your visitor what is the next step that they will achieve in terms of loyalty or discounts. Again, that's more clarity about it. Earlier, this was only seeable, let's say, into the baskets, and it was not clear if we did not make a specific block for this, and now it's very clear, and it helps your visitor to know better what they can expect in terms of discounts and when they can expect it, so that maybe they will be more eager to purchase. Now, we have a new question from LinkedIn. Is the website capable of two-level pricing logic? For example, B2C public and B2B after login? Yes, obviously it does. So we have the mechanic of price list, as I mentioned. To make it easy to understand, obviously you can create an account. Once you have created an account, we can have you as a contact. And let's say that Abigail, into her contacts, will have a price list I want to force. Obviously, I can have a price list. Let's say by default, I will rename it B2B. And then you have so that was for the units, but maybe I can also say, okay, for all products, I will have a discount of, I don't know, 40%. Because I'm selling through B2B. No minimum quantity, no validity dates. I just save it, and then the prices will be computed based on this. So obviously we can. There's always a good question you can ask yourself in terms of implementing B2B and B2C. Do I want the same website, which gives me the opportunity to work a bit less, to maintain the website, to add less pages, and to have less work. In terms of pricing, we can change them in the same website, so there is no problem about it. But maybe sometimes you want to have two different websites. This depends very on the case. We don't have an answer per se. Then we have a question from LinkedIn again. Sales module on Odoo. How does it work for business who offer services and not products? How will the sales module work in this aspect? Online, this will be quite similar. If I choose my product, as you may see, you have a possibility to decide if you sell like physical goods or services. Now, the difference is the delivery, obviously. Physical goods, I will deliver them because they are physical. Services, I have a different option here that will be linked to my project application, which helps me saying, okay, if I sell this very product, which is repair, let's say, I wanted to create, whenever I sell it, either a task, a project, or a project and a task, depending on the use case that you have. Once again, I can change, maybe it's in hours, anyways. So that, yeah, you can choose which project, in which project the task will be created. Obviously, you can create projects. You have many videos that you can see to help you implement this, and I can go to it with you. So if you type odoo.com/slides, you enter a place where you have many videos, and you can have here project and timesheet, and you have many videos here you can watch in order to help you making sure that you can actually deliver the service. Now, this is very simple use case that I show you. Maybe you want to have it not only in a project, but maybe you want to assign people and so on and so on and so on. But that will help you go through more complicated use cases. Let's go back to the question. Again from LinkedIn, how to make a mandatory phone number, not email, in address. This depends on where you want to ask the question. If I go to my form here, the websites, into the contact us, it's pretty easy. You just, you just click on the question, and you can see here that it's required. And then, if they do not fill in this question, then they cannot submit the form. Now, you have another place where you might want to set it up, which means in the place that I want to go will be the here, the email address here. So you may want to here the phone is actually mandatory by default. So maybe I did not understand the question. Question from me: how to make a mandatory phone number? So yeah, it's actually mandatory. But I just want to show you also this. Because it's a type of form that is a bit complicated. Not complicated, but it's way more regulated than the forms that you can create from drafts. And if I enter the edit mode onto this page, which as a login user and internal user, I just have to retrieve the same URL. So this is a tips and trick to retrieve this. And then you have the following configuration that you can have. Do you have an extra step to add another form that will go between your address and your payments? I can turn it on here. As you can see, there is an extra. But yeah, this is not so configurable, let's say, than into the actual forms, the draft forms. But I think this is one of the points that we want to work on, is to making more flexibility about what you need to ask here. But again, why is it that way? It's because there are so many information that you have to have in order to have e-commerce. I mean, I would have never take off the street and number field, of course, if I'm selling online. So yeah. Going back to the question, this I can erase. Okay. So, question from Smithy100. Is it possible to hide products on e-commerce when not available in stock? And or mention on demand? Yes, there are ways to do it. First off, you have automatic ribbon that have been introduced several versions ago. So if I go back to my main here and I can look for ribbon, I have a sold out one that I can have, sorry, not a sold out one, out of stock. Do I have it? When out of stock. So you can assign it dynamically whenever there is out of stock. So, and you don't have to set it up on the product actually. And then you have the likewise, let's say when new, when it's on sale, or you can always have a manual ribbon. So it's the first step to do it. If I think a bit more, then you have obviously when it's out of stock, another feature that is quite interesting to have, which is into the e-commerce tab, the out of stock message. And you can say, okay, subscribe for knowing when back in stock, for instance. Now, it's also an HTML field, which is great because you can also have the slash option and maybe add a button, which is maybe contact us. I have done it lots of time for clients. I cannot write contact us, and then I can have the contact us page, because some of the product will never be back in stock if people don't ask for it because they are so pricey to purchase and I don't want to have them in stock. So I have two ways. Either I do this in this way, and obviously I want to erase the sell when out of stock, otherwise it won't be shown. Let me just put the stock as 0, which you shouldn't do it like so in your database. You should, I don't know, scrap or deliver, but you will never set the quantity like so. Let me go back. Why does it's not? It's supposed to be. Oh no, it's not out of stock. There it is. Is it now? No, it hasn't changed. well, let me create another product that is out of stock. There it is. And published. And I'm tracking inventory, obviously, and I can say, okay, subscribe for knowing went back in stock. Obviously, you can choose your own words. And now if I go onto the website, it's out of stock. So I have this message that is shown. And also I have the get notified when back in stock. So I can add my email address here. Whenever it's going to be back in stock, then an email will be automatically sent to this person. So those were the ways that you can have in order to let your visitor know that this is out of stock and this will be back in stock. Now you can also have, I'm thinking I won't be showing right now, of course it's too complicated, but you can have an automated action based on the field that is available quantity. If the available quantity is lower than 1, then you unpublish the product. And then you do the likewise, obviously, if the available quantity is more than 0, then you publish the product. This can be done into the automation. Actually, I will be showing it. Let's go to the sales. So studio automations, I can create one, and then here you can say, okay, the model is not sale order, it's products. Product variants actually. And I can have apply on available quantity on hand, sorry, and then lower and so on. So I will leave you with that and you can work, but obviously the action will be update record, and will be update the published is published as yes or no. Going back to the question, then we have a question from LinkedIn. I would like to ask if the product categories in the sales module and the e-commerce categories in the website module have been synchronized in this Odoo 19.3 version. Nope, they have not. I do not think they will. This is really different things. Again, I'm not a developer, a product owner, but the nature of the fields are quite different. First off, as you may know, your products here, yeah, we don't need this. The product category can be one of them, only one. Why? Because you have lots of rules set on the categories, such as how does the costing method works. Am I in FIFO, AFCO, like the valuation of my products? I don't have the accounting model here, but if I had the accounting, I can set an income account and a charge account as well. So you can have many of them, because which one would be the one chosen? But then if you go to the e-commerce, you can have several categories. If I sell, let's say, helmets, that could work for women and men. I may have 2 e-commerce categories for men and women to ease the navigation through my website, and I can add as many categories as I'd like. So I'm not sure they will be synchronized, although most of the time, not all the time, most of the time they look very familiar, similar. Next question. From Johnny Chef Pixel, is it possible to hide products on e-commerce when not available in stock? I know we already done this, sorry. We have a new question from Riley Wilmot 5912. Will there be improvement to Google Merchant Center so we can add send weight and description to Google? Personally, I don't know which field is at stake right now, but we want more structured data, which is any information on the product, such as the price or the weight, actually, that will be structured into the page code so that the Google robots and crawlers will be able to see it and maybe to add it on the Google research. So this is a ongoing process. This is an ongoing process for improvement. So I would say the weight might be very interesting. I will do the feedback. Thanks. So this was good. So I think GoatSphere, Tech ERP has redefined his question or her question. For age verification pop-up, if an underage user can bypass the gate with a single click, it's just formality, not actual security. This is a point of view. You may agree with this statement. Now it's more what you require to have in order to ensure the age. I'm personally not a lawyer. I don't know if I may have like a very complicated way to do it with ID cards, maybe. This depends maybe on your regulation, on your industry. We, as Odoo, face the most large amount of use cases which this snippet would cover. If you need to go a bit deeper into the security, maybe you can have a specific snippet for this. Then we have Amer Saba. We need a feature to auto-detect the location of the customer as delivered to. Okay, like if I'm to the address form that will be computed for myself. This is good feedback. Actually, we already have sort of a detection in terms of fiscal position. So I'm a bit deviating from the question, obviously. We don't have the localization per se in the meter, so I'm sure of the address, but maybe in the future this is something interesting. But in terms of fiscal position, so if I'm logging the website from France and the store is in Belgium, then I would have the relevant VAT applied according to my location. Another thing that we have based on the place of the clients, the visitor, I would say, would be set on the price list. You can add country groups, so you can say, okay, this price list is only usable or set for people that enter this country group. But you're right. So to the address, we don't have the automatic fill-in of the address. Next question from the same person. Can we customize the selecting of the address to allow the customer to pick pinpoints on a map instead of typing? No, we don't. Again, this is not a bad idea. I don't think it would cover most of the use case. I don't think it would be the most used features, but that's something we can take into account here. So we have Johnny Chef Pixel. Can you display tax included for price list and tax excluded for another price list on the website, meaning on the same websites? This is a very good point from Johnny Chef Pixel. We currently have two sets, rather tax included or tax excluded prices on the website level, which means that I cannot differentiate on the same website if it is a tax included or tax excluded. That's good feedback. We know this one. But again, you can also have two different websites for B2B, B2C. And most of the project I've had that was supposed to be a limit, it's actually not a limit. Why? Because we have, again, depending on your use case, I'm not saying that it will never be something interesting to take into account, but so far, so as I said, you can choose if your website is in tax included or tax excluded. You make the call depending if you have both B2C or B2B, depending on the volume of the people that you want to please, let's say. But then if you go onto the product page and you if it's okay to do. Enter the edit mode. As you may see here, I have the tax included tag. What is it? Is that I can turn on the tax indication. So it shows what really is at stake. So let's say this is the B2C. I have B2B and B2C in the same website, but I'm more into the B2C because I drive larger volumes in B2C, and I know that B2C needs the actual price. I mean, as a B2C, I will never see a tax excluded for a bike, but as a B2B, I know that I have to think about the taxes. And then if I am to my basket, now it's shown like this because I have a theme that shows it like this, but I have a 275. So I know what is the amount of tax. So this is not maybe perfect in your sense. I could agree on some use case, but if we think about it, this could not be a limit in some sort of use case as well. Then we have we have a question from André Chapoutot, 4788. Sorry if I said your name. How do you create a customizable product like a skateboard? Okay, where the customer select various different parts. What's the best way? There is no best way per se. It depends on the use case again, on the product. And I can see many ways to do it. First off, you have what we call combos. So let's go to the products. I can have skates. This is a really important question. And again, I don't think I will ever be exhaustive. There are so many ways to do it. So I'm just choosing a combo. A combo choice will be, okay, if I have a skateboard, first I need to choose the deck. So I'm creating a deck combo choice. From the deck, I have the blue deck from Globe, and then I have deck from not Globe but from Nike SB. No, it doesn't do any decks almost, for instance. Doesn't matter. So I'm creating products here. The deck here is the choice, the level of choice. It's not a product. And then I add the product, and then once I have this, I need to choose the trucks, which are the parts where that holds the wheels, and I have independent trucks, and what else do I have? Let's say Globe again. No, it's not the deck. It's only the Globe trucks. I'm not naming the product as best as I could, but then I have the wheels. And then I have, again, the Globe wheels that are the cheapest. And then I can have, what else are, Spitfire. Anyways. And then if I go to these skates, and then I add it, then I have the different levels of choosing. I'm gonna go for the Globe, independent, and the Spitfire wheels, and I add it. Okay, and then I have my combo. That's the first way to do it. Then you have another way, which is with variants. So I can create skates, and then you can use attribute to say, okay, the color. Not the color, but more the brand of the deck. And this is gonna be the Globe, or what did I say? Almost, I think. And then the brand, I'm gonna rename it as deck brand, and so on and so on and so on. That will help you here choose if I take the Globe or the almost. And then I can have as many layers of attribute that I want. Obviously, it's another way to do it. Depending on what you want to customize, you might want your client, let's say, okay, for this case, I'm offering my clients to leave a message. They can engrave their name or whatever. So I can add from the products a new attribute that would be engraving. And then I'm gonna say, okay, enter, you will understand, enter your description. And what actually I want to have here, can I access it here? Yeah, you can access it and have to choose free texts. So if I go there, you will see that, yeah, I can say, okay, the engraving will be Jules, which is my name. So this is another level of customization. Last customization that you can make, and that I would do for the skates, actually, would say, okay, I'm selling, so I go back to the decks, the blue deck globe. And what I can do is from the sales tab here, say, okay, the option will be wheels, globe wheels. It will be the trucks. I don't have it. Independent, yeah, independent trucks and so on and so on and so on. And if I go to the website, let's say I'm looking for buying blue deck globe, and I can add to cart, and I have here my optional products are suggested to me, and I can add them. So those were 3 ways to have customizable or combos or multi-products or bundle products ordering. And depending on your use case, you can have it more handy for you guys. Okay. Then we have a question from Amer Sabah once again. Is cash on delivery available as payment method? Yes, it is. Good point. I have shown it in a previous release highlight video. I think it was on the 19 or the 19.1 and 2. I don't remember, but anyways. So if you go to the payment provider, you have cash on delivery that you can download. Let's say I'm publishing it. And then from your delivery, let's go to the sites, to the delivery method. I can add one cash on delivery, for instance. I publish and I select this, obviously. Product, we don't care, blah, blah. This is just a setup and I can publish it. Now, the perfect thing here is that if my visitor purchased something, actually the basket that I have here, check out, I can now have the cash on delivery. And if I go through this is the extra step that I turned on the other question that I could manage as I would like. And by the way, if you have customizable product, this is another way to induce this, because you can have upload file if you have logos to add or anything like this. But I can confirm, I can pay. Actually, I will not pay. I would use the payment that is wire transfer, but the good part is if I use wire transfer, the order is confirmed, which means that if I have physical product, I also have a delivery that is set, which locks the amount of stock that I need from my inventory app. Next question. From Johnny Chef Pixel, cash on delivery is available by default. Yes, you just need to enable it. Yes, thank you. Then we have Smithy 100. Where do you activate the availability in the shop as demonstrated on your website? I'm not sure to know the availability that you mean. There are lots of them, so you can precise them maybe in the comment. Next question. Riley Wilmot 5912. When placing an order, it asks for VAT. Is there a way to rename this to something like ABN for RC businesses? Yes, there is a workaround that we have made with one of my colleagues not long time ago. If you have multiple questions, multiple language, this is getting a bit technical here. But anyways, the question will be, okay, I have multiple languages into my database, which means that I can translate, right? This is where it gets technical. I can retrieve the actual view of the form and translate the view. So, how to retrieve the view? First off, maybe I still have it in my copy. No, I don't have. I think it was web address. No, it's not. Maybe I can have in my pages here. No, I don't have it. So the old-fashioned way. Normally I should know this by heart. Add to carts. I just want to retrieve the view, so how do? I go there. Now, how do I know which view it is? There is something that is pretty cool into Odoo, is that I can, let's say apartment suite, etc. I can copy this, go back to Odoo, enter the views, which is a technical, no, I need to enter the debug mode, which is the developer mode that you can enter by going to the settings, scrolling down and activate the developer mode. You don't need the asset, by the way. You can have them if you want. And then I'm going to look for views, which is user interface. Is this one? And then I can paste whatever I have and click on view architecture. And it will seek to all the views that has this piece of text into it. So I know that it's address detail. As soon as I'm here, I should not change anything here because it's standard views. So meaning that if you upgrade your module or your database, everything that you've done here will be erased and replaced by the actual standard view. So this is not the place where you change the view. Although you can change here the translation. So what we have done with my colleague was, okay, in French, I don't want the email to be shown like this, but I want a smiley, for instance. Or maybe the VAT. Yeah, let's go for the VAT. Where is the VAT shown? Yeah, I don't have. This is probably another view. But it's in French, so it's going to be complicated to see. VAT number. I can replace in English the VAT. So I take the whole thing here. Let's say I'm going to change it by, I don't recall what you wanted. ABN. So I'm just going to say ABN here, or I can change whatever. Let's say email. I'm going to say drop your email. Darling, I have such a different tone of voice, and I can save. And now if I go back to this website, or maybe I can go into a incognito. I don't have it in my paper. Up. Incognito mode. Yes, I'm 18. There it is. Normally it should drop your email, darling. So it's a bit of a workaround that you can use here. Okay. Going back to the question. ABN. Hi. So from 1,500, can we edit the checkout form? So the address form that I just showed you, this one you cannot. Although if you confirm, no, I have to go through, but I have the extra info. So yeah, the extra info, you can change it just like any other forms. That's more what we have put into place so that we know that we grasp the information that we have to have in order to have websites online, such as the address. This is kind of blocked, although you can activate the several configuration. But then if you want extra information, extra question, then you can turn on the extra step and make your own form in that matter. Then we have a question from Femorais. Can you refer to the costs related to the use of AI? Yes, I can. This is a good question. So to work, the AI features, we need your database to be connected to an AI provider such as OpenAI or Gemini. You can enter your own API key, which means that every time you're going to do a call, API call, you will use tokens. Tokens are sold from the provider. Last I checked, let's say a year ago for ChatGPT-4, it was $5 for 1 million tokens. There are rule of thumbs. It's not precise, but you can think that with ChatGPT, 4 characters of text sent is 1 token. And then you have a price for the input token and you have a price for the output token. Now, I'm not personally aware of the prices today, but the best way is to ask the actual LLM, the AI that you want to use, of its prices. But the key point here is that every time you are going to use the AI, you are going to make a call, which means that you pay for this. Now, if you're on a SaaS database, SaaS, we have linked your database to our own OpenAI account, which means that you don't pay for it. You have a certain limit of usage per day and per user, I think, but it's quite okay. And if you need more, then you can link your own. Now onto SH, we don't have this synchronization for obvious reasons of security. We have 2 last questions. From, again, Amer Saba. Is there any plan to add tracking bar flow to show the customer about the current status and expected status? I guess you are talking about the delivery status. Now, the delivery status is not something shown by Odoo, but if you integrate, and if it's not the delivery, you can specify the question. I will answer it afterwards. But you know that into the configuration you can link I need another maybe I need the inventory. Yep, you can link a where are they? Yeah, shipping connectors with UPS, DHL, bpost for Belgium. Now if you don't find it, you can also connect it with SendCloud, which is the leader in the market for connecting other deliver. Now, if you select this, you will see that in the delivery methods, what happens is that when you have an order, then the order is confirmed. When it's confirmed, it creates a delivery into Odoo, and the creation of the delivery triggers from your the generation of a delivery slip as well as a tracking number. The tracking number goes into your delivery, which means that when you validate, an email is sent to your clients with the delivery code, which helps them track your order. And also from the delivery, you will have a new smart button that says shipping status or another synonym. You can click on it and you go to the deliver websites to track the package. So it's already covered in Odoo if you integrate this. If you don't integrate, there is also a way, but I would have you going online and see the documentation, because this is something you can add manually, the tracking numbers, if you don't have the connection. And also you will have the same features as I said. Now, last question from Riley Wilmot. Is there a way to make a product online only available to one person or a group of people and not have it show on the website for other users? Good question. Let me divide it into things. First way is, can I prevent the visibility of the products to people and not for others? The answer is no. The only yes and no. I can block the visibility of the e-commerce, the whole e-commerce for people that are not logged in. They don't see my catalog. They don't see the product I sell. Or I can just leave it open for anyone. That's the first way. Now, if I want to prevent the sales of a product to anyone, that I can do. But they will be still able to see the product catalog. They won't be seeing the price though. How do I do so? And then I will leave you with this. You have into the website section of the configuration, you have a field that is renamed into the 19.2 version. Previously it was prevent zero price product, prevent the sales of zero price products. Now it's renamed and it's add to carts, and I can choose for the zero price products, the product that are priced as €0 or dollars, or I can say for specific categories. That some categories I don't want to sell it online. And how does it work is that for specific people I will add a price list that sets some product to 0 so that they cannot buy it. And for the other people that actually can buy it, but then I'm making sure through the price list or my price settings that it's actually another price than 0. And in this way I can prevent the sales of such products from one person to another, but not the visibility right now. Okay, so I think we don't have any other questions. So I thank you to have followed this webinar, and I will see you for next version. And if not, we can also see each other on the Odoo experience. Bye bye.